Hi, and welcome to Kamy and Daniel Eat Rice. Today we're trying clay pot rice. This is my pot. I've already got the rice inside, and it looks like it's starting to boil. There we go. So this is a new recipe I'm trying. This is also a new pot I'm trying. I am supposed to leave the lid off once it starts boiling and let all the water boil down. And then what I'll do is add my chicken that I've already had marinating for about an hour and a half, and my Chinese sausage. Okay, so the recipe says that once most of the water is absorbed, go ahead and layer the chicken on top of the rice, followed by the Chinese sausage. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And I've got all my chicken in. It looks like this. And it's really cool because I have a little bit of marinade left over, which is cool because when I cut the chicken, I had a lot left over. The recipe called for just 1 pound of chicken. The pack of chicken I had was a little over a pound, so I saved a little bit, cut it up for another meal, saved it, just sit in the fridge right now, and I can now go ahead and marinate it in my leftover marinade for another meal. I'm just kind of spreading out my Chinese sausage here. This is a different Chinese sausage than I usually use. I usually use another brand that's already mostly cooked. This one actually comes raw. I'm not really familiar with this brand, but I'm sure it's still good. I said to put it as a thin layer. It's a little chunky because it was a raw one. It didn't really separate. I couldn't really get thin slices that it called for. I tried my best. It's not really a thin layer, but I'm trying my best, and I'm sure it'll still be delicious. Okay, so now it says to go ahead and put the lid back on. We're going to leave it here for, I guess, about 15 minutes until we hear a sizzling sound, and that sizzling sound is going to indicate that the rice is mostly cooked and the water is absorbed, and then we can start making the rice crispy, which is the cool thing about clay pot rice. It's that crispiness that you get from the rice cooking in the clay pot itself. So I'm excited. Hopefully it turns out okay. Okay, so it's been about half an hour and I still don't hear a sizzle. I'm a little worried that maybe the heat isn't high enough because the recipe did say to cook this on a gas stove. I mean, clay pot is best cooked on a gas stove, and this is a glass cooktop. So maybe that's why, but I don't want the rice to burn, so I'm going to go ahead and do the next step, which they said to pour a little bit of oil around the lid. And this is supposed to, well, I'm spilling everywhere. This is supposed to drip inside and gonna give us that scorched rice. Oh, I guess I can't really film with one hand and cook, huh? Gives that scorched rice texture that we're looking for. I'm not sure that it's actually going inside. It looks like it's kind of just sitting there. So maybe I'll just wiggle this a little bit and kind of give it some help. Okay, I think it looks like it all went inside. Okay, so recipe says let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna tilt the pot on all sides so that that hot oil helps scorch all the rice that's sitting on the sides of the pot here. And then after that, it should be done. I also have a little bit of extra sauce here. The recipe said it should be flavorful enough already without extra sauce, but in case we wanted some more flavor, they gave me a recipe for that. So I went ahead and made it just in case. If it doesn't need it, I can always throw it into that marinated chicken that I mentioned from earlier. Okay, so I also went ahead and heated up some soup on the side. My husband is actually sick right now. So I thought this would be comforting. This is actually not a soup that I made. This is a Chinese herbal soup that my coworker made. And I actually threw in the freezer thinking, well, one day when I'm sick, I'm going to want some soup. So went ahead and defrosted that, and there is a little bit of soup here for Daniel and me to try. Okay, so it is about done. Let's go ahead and take the lid off and see how it turned out. Okay. All right. I can't really tell if any of the rice got scorched. I do smell burning. Oh, I hear it now. Oh, it looks like I didn't have enough oil because I'm hitting some resistance here. Kind of hard to see. So I think some of the rice got stuck to the pot. I probably should use more oil. The recipe just said a little bit of oil. It didn't really specify, so I wasn't really sure what to do. It also seems like all the chicken kind of cooked together in one chunk. And my Chinese sausage did not turn out red. Like I can see, I remember where I put it. I think this is it, yeah. It's normally red. This is not red. But that's okay, I'm sure it'll still taste good. Oh, now I hear the sizzle. You hear that? Well, anyway. This is pretty much done. I don't want to overcook the chicken, so I guess I'll go ahead and serve it up. Okay, so I took it off the burner. Oh, I can hear the crisp. You hear that crisp of the rice? Oh yes, I think that's what we're looking for. Okay. Looks like it did maybe burn a little bit. That's okay. Let's go ahead and serve this. This is Daniel's portion right here. Give him some more chicken because he's big on protein. Okay, that should be good. Hey, good news. So after I scooped Daniel's bowl, I did mine, and as I was digging around, it looks like the rice is actually not as burnt as I thought. You can see all these crispies I got out of it. There's a few burnt pieces, but not too bad. A little bit of carcinogen never hurt anybody, right? But yeah, I think I did okay. Let's taste it and see. Okay, we're ready to try it now. I am going to get a little bit of rice and chicken on my spoon. Let's see. Oh, I am surprised. There's actually a lot of flavor already. I really don't need that sauce at all. Just the marinade from the chicken was enough to, as you can see, the rice is not white. It's got this like brown tint to it. That marinade really got through the chicken and the rice to give the whole dish flavor. And the rice is actually a really good texture. It's, even though I thought I burned it, you can see it didn't burn too badly. I have some good color char on my rice here. The rest of the rice is perfectly cooked. It's soft. And the chicken too is actually not overdone at all. It is also perfectly cooked. I'm quite surprised because I did let it sit for longer than I was supposed to. And I was a little worried the chicken would become overcooked, but no, it's very, it's the right temperature, it's the right texture, and overall I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I'm gonna eat a crispy now. Look at this crispy, I'm so excited. Oh, it's a little blurry, there you go. That's a really good crunch. I don't know if you heard that. I didn't try to make it ASMR or anything, but yes, it has a great crunch. Not quite restaurant quality, but I'm really pleased for my first time making this at home. I'm definitely gonna want to try to make it again. I think next time what I'll do, though, just to make sure I don't burn the rice, is add more oil to my pot and not let it sit as long. I think I'll let it sit for like half an hour. I mentioned the recipe called for about 15 minutes. That was just a rough estimate. And again, I did cook it on a glass cooktop, which is electric. Generally, you want to cook a clay pot on a gas stove so the flame gets at the sides of the pot for some even cooking and to get that nice crispy of the rice on the sides of the pot. I didn't get that this time. I only got the crispy at the bottom of the pot, but I'm just pleased that it still worked on the electric cooktop. And I definitely want to try it again and try to perfect this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my dinner. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Well, this is unfortunate. I started digging my own bowl here, and as I saw the bottom, or scraped to the bottom, I saw it was quite burned down there, so I guess I burned the rice. I should have maybe stopped it earlier than half an hour, but I was waiting for that sizzle that the recipe said I should hear, so, well, now I know.